course, are humans, and we are the dominant species on Earth, right? I mean, we have computers, we have books, we have language, which is very important, we have civilization, we have communication, we have literature, we have technology, we have intelligence, we have consciousness, and I think that means that we are very good. And that also includes our population. We have 7.8 billion of us living on Earth, right? Which means that we are the dominant, supreme power in the universe, besides all the aliens which we're gonna meet in 2063. You're sure about that? Yeah, I'm completely sure that we have the largest so you probably know that ants have a larger population than humans, no matter what, right? You all know that. That's basic facts that you learn in science class. How about this? There are more cells in your body than people who have ever lived. That's crazy, right? So you are made out of more yous than all the other types of yous that have died and are being born at this instant. Insane, right? Here, let me tell you something else that's insane. Your body isn't you. Your gut. You don't have cells in your gut that breaks down the food. So what do you have? You have bacteria that you swallow along with your food that helps break down the food so you can absorb the nutrients. And there are more of these non-you residents in your body than the cells in your body. It makes you feel very uncomfortable, right? You have a bunch of little immigrant workers. Sorry about the whole controversial thing that I'm just saying, but imagine a bunch of immigrant workers sitting in your gut, and there are more of them than resident natives. Although that's happened already, there are barely any Native Americans anymore, and like everybody is white and not from America. They're from Europe. How about something else that just smacks you in the face? What I think is that intelligence doesn't define humanity, because chimpanzees, which are 98% similar to human beings, can make tools. They can communicate. They even know how to do types of emotions that we used to think that only humans could do. If a chimpanzee gives you something and you do this, he will recognize that as no thank you. So he's either going to bow his head and say thank you, or he's just going to turn your head and be like, no, take it. He can understand another species. And that's not just for a selected chimpanzee that Jane Goodall met with. That is actually true. It's for every single chimpanzee who is comfortable around humans, which modern day is most of them. And they can understand basic emotionary language that we thought was unique to us. Hell, they even understand the exact motions that we do. If you say this, that means no thank you, or shut up. Either one, whichever you're trying to say. And a chimpanzee is going to understand that. And it's a whole different species. How about mice? Now we usually think that we are unique. The only thing that's very close to us would be chimpanzees. But let's think about mice. What about mice? They're tiny, they're disgusting, they look like mini possum monsters, and they have camera lenses for eyes. How genetically similar do you think we are to those creatures? How about 68% similar? What? So we are more similar to mice than, let's say, to birds, which are 40% similar. Do you know how genetically similar mice are to sharks? They're like 98% similar. Like us to chimpanzees. So really, if a mouse is 98% genetically the same as a great white shark, imagine how many things in the world we are extremely similar to. Not in shape and size, obviously, because we don't look like mice at all, but by the genetics. If we are closer to mice than birds, and mice are closer to sharks than lizards, what do you think is possible? Do you still think that you're the most unique creature on Earth? Yeah, we have technology. Oh, by the way, chimpanzees, they can make technology. They can't, make computers or write stuff down. Actually, they can kind of write stuff down. They take rocks and they bang them on trees. That's basically a no trespassing sign. If you want to tell another chimpanzee not to be in your territory, you take a bunch of trees and you slam a rock into them. One time. That is literally writing for chimpanzees. And chimpanzees, they can make stuff. You know that rock? They actually make it in such a good ways that they choose a specific type of rock for that task. What do you think is happening right now? They can make insane things. They can make axes. They use basically rocks to break open walnuts. If they can do that, who knows? Maybe in the far future, maybe even in the near future, we'll see them wielding muskets. And fun fact, they have opposable thumbs. So they can open containers. If they have opposable thumbs, then guess what? They can do almost everything. Fun fact, they have opposable feet too. So they can get their flintlock pistols and shoot with both hands and basically both their feet. They're gonna take over the world someday. And they're 98% genetically similar. If you placed a chimpanzee and put some clothes on it and put it in a convenience store, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. And you guys already say that you're superior and everything. Ants have a higher population than you. You have a higher population inside of you than all humans combined. And all the immigrant German residents who are in your gut right now have a higher population than the native cells of your whole body. And then for technology, chimpanzees can make tools. They can kind of write. They can communicate. They can understand other species' signals. And mice, they have nothing in common with us, except for 68% of their genes. I don't know how this belief came up. Maybe it's from those weird Christian belief systems that humanity is better than everything else and we can kill as many things we want and pollute the air as much as we want and shove carbon dioxide into the atmosphere as much as we want. Okay, I get that. That's probably where it started. But geez, we are 98% similar to chimpanzees, and they can write, kind of. They can make tools. They can communicate with other species. We can barely do that. You take man's best friend, the little puppy, and you teach it how to do it. It will only understand a couple things. And then Jane Goodall goes over to that one to that chimpanzee who's never met her before, and that chimpanzee immediately recognizes what she is saying with her body. This world is for us to share. We're all animals. We're all very different physically, but if you look at what we can do, our population sizes, and what's in them, you will see that there's not much different. For a human, they have lungs, they have a stomach, they have a heart, they have a brain. They have an excreting part which would be attached to the guts. Same thing with mice. Almost same thing with cockroaches. We're not superior. We're superior to, we do have civilization, but say that to the ants. Their largest city is about the size of Bronxville in New York. Ants, which are so tiny that if it was 1 foot away, you wouldn't be able to see them, can make a civilization as big as a large village. What the hell? We're not too different from the animal kingdom. We are superior in multiple ways. But don't make it into a Nazi cult. Because guess what? Look inside of them and you will see that they are almost completely the same as you. Physically, on the inside. So, prepare for the chimpanzee apocalypse that will happen in 2063, and I'll see you later.